Welcome back to Cycle and Dredge. We're on episode 17 of our podcast, and today we're going to be talking about red combos. Our mission every week is to try and make you a better Magic player through talking about Magic, and hopefully build better decks through our app and everything we discuss on this podcast. My name is John, and with us today are our normal two Cycle and Dredge hosts, Nick and Roman. Nick, go ahead and say hi.
What?
There we go, on point as usual. And Roman, go ahead and say hi.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Now
I was legit watching Star Wars, I'm sorry.
It doesn't take too long for you. Just like a squirrel, Star Wars is on TV. It's going to be Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But
it literally is on my TV right now.
You said before we were doing this is like your 30th Star Wars marathon?
No, it's my third marathon since the 4th.
Yeah, 33. I mean, that's not too far off. So
yeah, I think I've done 30 in my lifetime.
Probably. I think you've done 30 since I met you a couple years ago.
Probably.
So, at any rate, like I said, this week we're going to be talking about red cards or red combos specifically. Before we get into all of that, let's move to our upkeep step. So, how are you guys surviving in the apocalypse in week 14?
From 2 floors up, I think I'm pretty good.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you guys live together. That's funny.
Nick, how are you doing?
I think I'm either at Mythic or Platinum in Arena right now.
Nice.
So I've been playing Arena.
Don't get me started. I just think Arena needs to shut down.
Well, you know what?
Everything needs to shut down.
It's okay for right now because we're in the apocalypse and people need shit to do. But Standard is toxic. Arena is just a money dump.
Historic.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because they finally announced that
it doesn't seem worth it anymore.
They finally announced that Arena or the historic queue was going to become a permanent thing here very shortly.
Which makes me very happy.
Me too.
Historic's actually not toxic.
No, historic is nice, and I've been waiting for this because I grew out of Standard. It got rather boring, and if they could bring
Godo also happened.
That too. If they could bring Brawl Historic to a permanent thing, that would make Arena a great client. I am okay with having to dump extra money into Arena. I know other people don't share my thoughts on that. I wish that they had a way to buy wild cards, so that way you could craft your own cards rather than opening packs or whatnot.
Yeah.
But if they could do that, even if wild cards were more expensive than a normal booster, I would pay the money for it. It's a good compromise, I think.
I'd pay for a pack of wild cards. Maybe $20 for 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because if it was $5 for a mythic wild card and $2.50 for a rare,
mythics, it's you get 5 Heliods.
Yeah,
but that's going to be a lot more expensive.
And I'd be okay with that. I just prefer I don't want to go into Arena every day doing the grind where it only counts towards Standard. And here's the thing, and I've argued this online too, it only creates for a more piss-poor Standard environment, because I know I'm not alone in this, but I have specific decks set up specifically for the dailies. They are not competitive or anything whatsoever. They are designed strictly to play as many of those color cards or creatures, or whatever the case may be, as quickly as possible. I do it until I can't anymore, then I nope out of the match, I get back into the next match, and I do it all over again. Because, quite frankly, Standard doesn't interest me, especially with the way the metas have been going for the past few cycles. And, yeah, I know I'm being a bad player by doing this and not offering, whoever I'm playing against any kind of fun. And that's just making that environment even worse. So if Wizards could open up the historic queue, it would encourage me, at least, to not be doing that. And I'm sure it would do that for others, too. So
it'd be like them opening up Modern, essentially.
Yeah,
except for not as good.
I'm hoping this really helps with that stuff, so we'll see. As for other things in the news, I don't think that there was too much of anything else, at least that I caught wind of. for this week. It's been a pretty quiet week, but then
Luris is a problem.
Yeah,
Not just in Standard, but in Modern and Legacy.
that's been the going
those who
trend.
play Eternal formats.
That's been the going trend for the past couple weeks, though, and I think it's just
Well,
that
Luris
drum.
is becoming even more of an issue in Legacy.
That drum beat is only
They have
getting
Legacy Storm lists now that run Luris.
that drum beat is only getting like harder too. So
Yeah, I don't like companions. I like some of them, but I hate most of them.
I'm on the fence about companions, but I haven't had much of a chance to play with them yet.
I think it'll be fine once they start printing more.
I don't.
Right now, there's only 10. There's not enough to do with them. Some seem like a problem.
I don't
Luris
know.
is an issue, but then so is they said Lutri was the issue.
I don't know if if they're gonna.
An issue for Commander.
I don't know if they're gonna be playing or making companions that quickly and easily. Still, I mean, I imagine we will see them back, but not like we did this time. So, and again, we haven't gotten the paper cards in America yet, or at least a lot of us haven't. Or like a lot of the other
people
places
are paying an arm and a leg to freaking get them into America, though.
Yeah,
I see people buying them for like $200 a box.
But that's only select people. That's not going in mass. So
not everyone can buy, spend that much.
We're not going to see what this does until everybody gets them in paper in mass. So we'll see where this evens out.
Well, my prediction is Luris is a problem.
Yeah, well, that's not really a prediction. That's a fact.
Yeah. All right. So,
anyway, just to go over for people that don't know, I do have some Magic news. The sets that are coming out this year, John wasn't actually aware of everything that was coming out this year.
Well, it's so hard to keep track anymore.
Yeah, well, this year in Magic, let's see, we have Commander 2020 coming out May 15th.
That's in a couple days.
Then we have
after this podcast airs. Or no?
Clearly, yeah. So then we have, it might be pushed back as well. I mean, to be honest, because everything else got pushed back, so these dates might not actually be accurate.
No.
We have Secret Lair Ultimate Edition.
I don't want to talk about that one.
That's, we're actually going to talk about it on this podcast. May 29th.
Saying I hate it.
And we got the signature spellbook Chandra coming out June 26th. We got Core Set 21 coming out June 3rd or July 3rd. Jumpstart airing July 3rd as well.
We haven't heard anything about Jumpstart though lately.
We have heard some stuff, but not enough to actually talk about it.
I think they're trying to
during the end of the year.
I think they're trying to hold.
Guys, can I finish the thing before we talk?
Go on.
We have towards the end of the year, Zendikar Rising, Commander Collection Green, and Commander Legends. Those dates are yet to be announced.
I think it's going to be a little bit before we start hearing about Jumpstart yet. I think it's going to be a fun and interesting product still. I'm still excited to get my hands on it, even if it's going to be mostly at home at this point. I was more excited about it when the local game stores were open back when they first announced it and everything before COVID happened. But I think Wizards is kind of holding back some of the news on that and everything just because otherwise the entire Magic community is going to get overload. I mean, we have Ikoria and Commander 20 this time, and then we're going to have, because that all got pushed back within a month and a half, we're going to be on Core 20 and Jumpstart at the same time again. And then we're going to have, Zendikar Rising towards the end of the year? You said? And then with that, we're also going to have the Commander stuff at the same time. We're going to be on information and budget overload with all this stuff coming out at the same time. So I think it's wise for Wizards to hold off on some of this news and create the excitement closer to when it happens. So, but yeah, any other news for the week, Roman, that you got that I missed?
There's talks of stuff, but that's it. Nothing.
Let's leave.
Nothing huge. Nothing to have a conversation about. So let's wait until.
Yeah, if it's just gossip at this point, unless we have an interesting opinion about the gossip, let's just leave it as gossip for the moment.
Some of the people are actually really liking the new Commander 2020 tokens. Actually, those are actually going up in price.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, what was it? The one I forget which token it is, but it's over $2 right now, which is more than some of the actual cards in Commander.
That's not too shabby for a token. All right, well, with that said, we're roughly, again, 10 minutes into this show already, and we haven't even hit the draw step yet. This is, I think, one of our longest upkeep steps ever in our 17 episodes so far.
Dinosaur Cat. Dinosaur Cat's the one that's over $2 right now.
Well, yeah, it's a dinosaur cat.
I would expect that.
Who doesn't want a dinosaur cat? I mean, seriously. All right, at any rate, for our draw step, each week we pick random cards of the week, because the best way to learn about new Magic cards is to just hear about them. So who would like to go first this week?
Well, go ahead, John. You talk about yours.
Well, my card of this week is called Ass Whuppin. It's a sorcery, 1 plus a white plus a black to put out. It is a silver bordered card, so make sure you ask your play group if it's okay to play before you play this card. But it says destroy target silver bordered permanent in any game you can see from your seat. This would be, unfortunately, it came out a while ago, but if your LGS is holding like a silver border cube for just whatever, this would be an amazing game to play, or card to play, because it would just be hilarious to go over to someone else's table and say, yep, I'm destroying your card. I don't care if I'm in your game. It's dead.
It's like get up to buy a soda, walk over to someone's table, just being those, and be like, yeah, I'm gonna blow that up.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
That is amazing. Okay, who would like to go next?
I guess, yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Mine is Blue Elemental Blast. It is an instant for 1 blue. It counters a red spell or it destroys target red permanent.
Oh, I have this card.
Sounds mean.
Well,
it's very
also blue.
Episode.
It is, yeah, it's very appropriate for this episode.
No, it's inappropriate for the episode.
I think it's
Blue Elemental.
No, it's actually...
I think it works pretty well since we're talking about all red cards.
I mean, it talks about red, so that will actually stop a lot of these combos.
That is true.
So
all right, mine is called Preacher. For 1 and 2 white, you get a 1/1 human cleric. You may choose not to untap Preacher during your Untap Step. Tap. For as long as Preacher remains tapped, gain control of target creature and opponent control of an opponent's choice he or she controls.
I feel like I have one of these cards.
You have Robinia, which is
kind of the same.
A legendary card. It's a banned creature.
Okay, that's why this sounds familiar.
But you get to choose the creature for that.
Okay.
Yeah, Robinia is a cool card.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But this one's... Oh, yeah, I did have a Robinia deck at one point.
For like a day?
Yeah, and then people hated me out of the games because apparently people don't like their permanents being taken with mass manipulation and stuff like that.
No, Roman, nobody does. Jesus.
I don't get to have my decks for very long, you guys.
Well, stop building decks that are built to troll people.
They're not built to troll people. I'm not allowed to, you guys are like, oh, you can't build anything to win.
You can build stuff to win, but don't build things to troll people. Stealing permanents constantly is trolling people.
How is that trolling?
It's trolling.
No, it's not. It's playing to win. It's a valid excuse. It's a valid move.
It's valid, but the social contract dictates stop.
So is blowing up everybody's lands, but that's still a dick move. I have never once
blown up everyone's lands. Not once.
You've been known to blow up some lands every now and then.
I've had the opportunity to blow up lands.
Uh-huh.
Oh, come on. Ghost Quarter doesn't count.
All right, so
get a land out of that.
Let's move on to the main phase, and start talking about these combos.
No. Yes. Sorry,
Roman.
Okay. All right. So the first combo we have up for discussion is actually one of the most competitive ones out there. Godo, Warlord, Bandit, and Helm of the Host. This is actually CDH.
You literally said that backward. It's Bandit, Warlord. Warlord, Bandit.
Whatever. Godo, Bandit, Warlord, and Helm of the Host.
Wait,
it's actually a CDH combo.
Did you call this Godo, Warlord, Bandit?
John, were you not paying attention?
If he said that, I completely corrected it. I completely corrected it in my head, and I was so confused. Okay, go on, Roman.
Star Wars.
Okay, so anyway, Godo, Warlord, Bandit can be your commander. most likely, if you're playing this combo, you're going to have him as your commander. And when he ETBs, you search your library for I believe an equipment card, so an equipment or artifact, and put it onto the battlefield if you do shuffle your library. Then, whenever Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap it and all samurai you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Now, with Helm of the Host, however, every time you enter your combat step, you make another one. So you're going to constantly be tapping or attacking and then untapping all your Godos to just make, because Helm of the Host actually gets around the legendary rule.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who don't know what Helm of the Host does, it's an equipment for at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of an equipped creature. Except the token isn't legendary. If the equipped creature is legendary, that token gains haste.
So, question about this. So, from what I'm reading here is whenever Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap it and all samurai you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. So,
yes.
The Helm of the Host makes a copy of Godo, and it has haste, obviously. So, with this, when you make a copy, you want to hold off attacking on with one of that copy, because otherwise you don't get the third additional combat phase, correct?
No,
correct, Admiral.
So you swing with the token, right? It will untap Godo, and then you get an additional combat step, right? Regardless of whether the original Godo swings, you get a second or a third token, I should say, after that, because you get a token every combat step.
Okay, and that's my point, is you only want to attack with one Godo, or at least you always want to leave one Godo not attacking, so that way
you can only attack with one Godo at a time.
Yeah, okay.
Because Godo doesn't untap other Godos unless you have... I don't think you can have anything in red that would give all your creatures, that give them all one type. I know of Conspiracy in black, and then there's a couple like Xenograph in blue that will make all your creatures one type. But besides that, no, you just swing with one Godo at a time, unless you can give them all haste with several different things, Mass Hysteria will give all your creatures haste. I believe Godo is he's a human, never mind, he's not a goblin.
Well,
but there are things that will give him haste either way.
It does always say here, when Godo attacks for the first time each turn, it's only for the first time each turn. So
yeah, that's what I said, you have to do it with the next Godo.
You could attack with one of the previous Godos the second turn, but it doesn't untap again then.
Yeah.
So you can basically get 2 swings out of each Godo, unless you have a way to untap it. And
otherwise, if they don't have a blocker for a 3/3, basically you just continue on and on and on.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
fun little
anyway,
combo.
on to the next one. Nick, you have more experience with goblins. You want to go over this one?
I don't have more experience with goblins. That's incorrect. Actually wrong.
You are wrong, good sir.
I have more experience with kobolds.
Kobolds,
same thing.
Yeah.
They are not.
I agree.
Goblins are 1/1s, kobolds are 0/1s. Completely different.
Okay. So, Nick, why don't you go ahead and read the next combo?
Well, I feel anyway. It's Goblin, Sharpshooter, and Splinter Twin. It's a combo nicknamed Sharpshooter Twin. Goblin Sharpshooter is a goblin, obviously, for 2 and a red. And whenever a creature dies, untap Goblin Sharpshooter, tap Goblin Sharpshooter. Goblin Sharpshooter deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And then there's the Splinter Twin card, which is an enchantment aura where you enchant your Goblin Sharpshooter with the Splinter Twin, and the Splinter Twin card does the token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield. That token has a haste exiled at the beginning of the next end step. It's infinite pings.
So how is that infinite pings? How are you untapping the...
Because whenever a creature dies...
Oh, okay, so that's why it's relying on this, is because when the token dies, you're untapping the other one.
Yes.
And then when you tap it again, you ping it, So that's making a token, so they can tap the token and ping it, and then go to the next end step. Now, how is this infinite though? Because it's what I'm confused about here is it says exile at the beginning of the next end step. Otherwise, the token you create. So the way I'm reading this is with Sharpshooter, you tap it, right, and you ping someone. So that's tapped, and then because it's tapped, you make a token. And then you can tap that and then ping somebody again, but that's now tapped, but it doesn't exile.
Well, it pings down all your opponent's creatures.
Yeah. Like, and whenever a creature dies, you untap Sharpshooter, I believe. Yeah. It is Sharpshooter combo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sharpshooter.
So, put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield. That token gains haste, exile at the beginning of the end step.
So basically,
you're gonna do is you're gonna actually target one of your own sharpshooters. So so your original sharpshooter would ping.
Okay.
A sharpshooter. All right. So original sharpshooter.
I think I get.
And then copy sharpshooter.
I think I get this now. So this is basically
copy pings, and then the original one shoots down the copy.
So this is like a Massacre Girl effect, where you have to be able to have small creatures ramp up into the bigger creatures.
No, this is just basically you make a copy that pings the player, and then you kill that copy, and then reiterate, because Goblin Sharpshooter untaps whenever a creature dies.
Yeah, so you have to kill off a creature to be able to untap it, and then kill off another creature to be able to untap it again, and then be able to kill off another creature to untap it and do it again. But each time it untaps and then taps again, you're making another copy of it. But those copies, and those copies will untap every time something else dies.
We did miss something. There has to be a X1 on the field.
Yeah,
we did miss that in
Yeah, or what you can do is you can have a third copy of Goblin Sharpshooter, would basically make this infinite with just not even have to deal with the other player's board.
Well, that would be the same way.
You would just be pinging their life down.
That's the same way as Massacre Girl, though. If you have your own stuff, you're using Massacre Girl off of your own shit to be able to kill off everybody else's stuff.
It's not Goblin Sharpshooter and just Splinter Twin. There has to be one other creature on the board.
Yeah, which it's best to have if it's another Sharpshooter. I'm sorry, I read this. I read this wrong. I never really used Splinter Twin for this combo. I used something else. So Splinter Twin is you enchant a Goblin Sharpshooter with it, right?
Yeah.
You tap that Sharpshooter to make a copy of itself. Then you have to have like a second copy, I believe.
Well, no,
you have to.
You can't. You can tap it to make a copy of yourself, but you can't kill the token copy that you made yourself.
Do you just want me to go through the steps real quick?
No,
I say it. John was just telling me no. I know I'm right. So I think you do need another X1.
Yeah,
well, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
To make your third Goblin Sharpshooter before you can go infinite.
Yeah.
You
just you couldn't do it off of the first token. That's what I was saying. It works kind of like Massacre Girl, where you have to have something else on the board to be able to start setting off that cascade effect.
Which, I mean, if you're playing Goblins, you'll most likely have a 1/1.
Probably.
Or you can just give one of these creatures Death Touch.
That too.
That always works too.
Yeah.
So like something like Gorgon's Head onto the copy or onto one of them.
Ultimately,
that would work.
You should be able to kill off something easily enough.
Yeah.
So, cool. Okay, so as far as this combo goes, do you think it's like CDH, more competitive?
It's kind of
kitchen table.
Janky. It's not CDH. It's kind of tier 2. It's like semi CDH.
So more kitchen table LGS kind of thing.
I wouldn't say it's an infinite kill it's a 2-card combo, but with a Splinter Twin combo. But like twin combos in general are just very good.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of 2-card combos.
Well, I'm just saying
the only one
right now.
In fact, the only combo on my we do have some that are non 2-card combos.
I think it should be important to say that this combo is easy to kill off, because it's not like the stack has to keep collapsing in order for this combo to keep working. So if you have any kind of...
it's pretty easy to say that about all of them.
Yeah,
because it's red.
Fair enough. But yeah, as long as you can remove the enchantment or the original token or the original creature that this is enchanted on, because it's not like each token you get is going to be making a copy of itself. It's only going to be that original Sharpshooter that's going to be making tokens. So as long as you can kill off that Sharpshooter or the enchantment, you kill the combo right there. And people might take a lot of damage, but still, there's always a chance to respond, unlike other combos where if you do something in the middle of the stack keeps going up. The stack has to keep collapsing on this for it to work. So, alright, good enough. Right. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure, John. Go ahead and, I guess you can read off these cards and then we'll tell you how they work.
So the next one is Dualcaster Mage and Twin Flame.
This one's fun.
It's an ability to produce mana and both cards in hand. I didn't read that right. Okay, so let me just read the cards first. Twin Flame is a sorcery card. It's 1+ red. It has, I can read the word because this card is too tiny. Strive. Twin Flame costs 2+ red more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target creatures you control. For each of them, put a token that's a copy of that creature onto the battlefield. Those tokens have haste and exile them at the beginning of the next end step. So that's Twin Flame. And we have Dualcaster Mage, which is 3 or 1+2 reds to put out. It's a human creature wizard, or creature human wizard. It's a 2/2 with flash. When Dualcaster Mage enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So how is this combo going down? How does it work?
You're gonna use Twin Flame, right? To choose any number of target creatures you control. So you're already going to have Dualcaster Mage on the field.
No,
and you're going to cast.
Not how it works.
Is it not?
No, you have to cast Dualcaster with Twin Flame on the stack because Dualcaster Mage has flash.
Well, yeah, I mean you can do it either way, but choose any number of target creatures you control. For each of them, put a token that's a copy. So you can copy Dualcaster Mage, whether he's on the board or on the stack. Either way.
The Dualcaster's what's copying the Twin Flame.
Oh, yeah, ETB's copies. But no, if Twin Flame were to copy Dualcaster, a new copy would come in that would be copying Strive. So you can already have one Dualcaster.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's a more surprise move if you... Yeah, it's a more of a surprise move, but if you don't have the mana, say if it's turn 3...
this is definitely not a turn 3 win.
This could definitely be a turn 3 win. I mean, Dualcaster, turn 4 at least. Dualcaster is 3 mana, so you get Dualcaster out. Turn 4, cast Twin Flame, copy your Dualcaster that was originally there. On the stack, when that new Dualcaster is coming into play, you copy Twin Flame, and Twin Flame copies, that new Twin Flame would copy the Dualcaster that's on the stack, and it would continuously go on. You would have infinite Dualcasters and basically infinite Storm if you do have a Storm card. And then you just swing with all the Dualcasters on turn 4 because they all have haste. So not turn 3 but turn 4 unless you have ramp.
Well, they don't have haste. They have...
no, the Dualcasters have haste.
The tokens do have haste. Most red tokens that ETB have haste.
You're right.
They just limit goblins a lot because goblins don't need it.
Okay.
But you can already have Dualcaster Mage out on the field. It doesn't have to be in your hand. I don't see why it would. I mean, as more of a surprise factor, like a haha gotcha. I mean, yeah, that's good, but I mean, you can have it out. I mean, to be honest, you could even hold on 1 second. So turn 2, right? If you cast, all right. So you have 1 mana down. Turn 2, you play a second land. No. Turn 1, you play down a mana, past turn, right? Turn 2, you cast like Pyrefic Ritual, cast Dualcaster Mage, copy the Pyrefic Ritual, cast Twin Flame. You could actually win turn 2 with this.
I thought Twin Flame 5-drop card.
Twin Flame is only 2.
Twin Flame is only 2.
But it does.
1 in a red.
Twin Flame does cost 2+ red for each time you cast it beyond the target.
You don't have to worry about the strive cost because the Dualcaster Mage is going to be the one copying the spell, so you're not even using strive.
So it's a new it's a new version of that spell, or a new instance of that spell, I should say.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay the additional strive cost. So turn 2, you could actually win with this combo. And I mean, it's not even an expensive combo. What's Dualcaster?
Twin Flame
worth 99 cents. Twin Flame is $2.30, so that's what we'll cut it at $3, and then Pyrific Ritual is probably like 25 cents, so a $4 combo for a turn 2 win.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So where would you rate this on the competitive scale?
Well, the fact that you would get this is like, I mean, in your hand, and you would have to assemble this combo, but once you get it, it's really, you're only swinging with a bunch of 2/2s.
Now,
If somebody has anything that can, do 2 damage to each creature, you basically just get wrecked.
now,
And you lose your first 3 turns or whatever.
are there any instant speed board wipes?
There are a couple, I think. I'm not really actually sure about that.
I mean, without doing something like flashing in Murder Girl, but that's going to require a couple different things like that, or a couple different cards to pull that off.
There are a couple of red cards that will do 2 damage to each creature.
Because, like, the only way you're going to stop this combo, because it's going to, unlike the other one, this one is going to keep working on the stack until you decide to attack. Like, you can keep building out 10,000 of these just to be extra sure. Dualcaster mages.
Yeah, which is why you would need something to burn them all out.
Yeah, so you're looking at some kind of board wipe, at least for something that has power.
No, I don't even think a board wipe would work.
Well, no, it would, because the stack does have to flatten before you can move to the combat step. So there is that brief instance between when this completely resolves and the stack collapses to when you move to the combat step that you have a chance to kill all of these. But again, it's not going to be on your turn, so if you're the opponent facing this, you're going to have to do something that kills off all things that with CMC or power 2 or less, or use something like where you have you can play all creatures with flash and then flash in Murder Girl or Massacre Girl. You're going to have to do something like that where it kills off everything. I'm not thinking of any board wipes like a Wrath of God effect that is an instant, so you're going to have to be a little creative about fighting this one off.
Yeah. So it might be CEH, because, I mean, you can turn to it.
You do need a creature on the field to do this.
How would you... Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can have your Dualcaster mage out on the field, target it with Twin Flame. The copy of Dualcaster mage would copy Twin Flame. And then the
Dualcaster only copies when he ETBs.
The new token would be ETBing. The copy of Dualcaster would be ETB, and it would copy the Twin Flame.
I don't think you can do it with just the Dualcaster and the Twin Flame. I think you have to have another creature on board.
Well, you have to have a creature on the field in order to cast Twin Flame, because otherwise it's going to fizzle. I'm just saying, because it doesn't. Like, if you don't have a creature on the board with Twin Flame, it'll fizzle because it has nothing to target.
Yeah. I guess that is true.
So whether
you have to have a creature besides Dualcaster on the field.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would make a copy of whatever creature is on the field.
Yeah. That's why I was getting confused, because you need another creature.
So, yeah, I don't know if this could be turn 2, but definitely turn 3, because you could have like a 1/1 Goblin or a Goblin token or something.
Yeah, it could be turn 3 with rituals, but not a turn 2.
No.
Yeah, like I could shoot through and my pile of cards here and find a one CMC card that probably ETBs and deals damage.
You don't even need to deal the damage; it's just making the copies.
Yeah, as long as you have something on the board, so that way.
Actually, I just swept through my cards and found Flame Sweep would actually stop this combo. So
a lot of stuff would stop this combo.
Yeah, Flame Sweep deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. Yeah. So that would blow up every creature.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a win. Like you play this, I win.
Yeah.
Without interaction.
You do have a chance to stop it. So.
Yeah.
All right, we are 40 minutes into this podcast and we haven't even gotten to the combat phase yet. So let's move on to the next combo.
Okay, so am I the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. I actually have to run to the little boys' room, so I'm going to let you guys talk about this combo while I run out.
Okay. This combo is possibly the more expensive one that we have most expensive one we have on the list. It's Underworld Breach combo, though, so it's relatively new.
So I want to correct you. I think this is the most expensive combo we've ever talked about on this podcast so far.
True.
Looking at these prices.
Yeah, it's Underworld Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, I'll call it LED from now on, and Wheel of Fortune. Underworld Breach allows you to play cards from your graveyard as if they haven't had escape, which is the escape is their CMC, I believe.
Yep.
Then LED, you can sack it to generate 3 of any color, and Wheel of Fortune lets you discard your hand and
basically
draw
draw
7
new
cards.
Yeah, draw a new hand.
It's like the original wheel. So you cast Underworld Breach and Lion's Eye Diamond if they're not already on the battlefield. You crack Lion's Eye Diamond, generating 3 mana, cast Wheel of Fortune from your graveyard with Escape, drawing 7 cards, or just cast Wheel of Fortune either way. Recast Lion's Eye Diamond with Escape and crack it for another 3 red and discard your hand, and then repeat steps 3 and 4 to find your win con. This isn't a win con in itself, it's just a way to get to your win con.
It's a very expensive way to shovel your way through your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I'm in the wrong room. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hello?
There it goes.
I'm so confused.
I think
that was Mike, I think.
Yeah, I think someone has a game plan tonight, that's all. They were dropping in on the wrong Discord room. But no,
that's fine.
Like you said, this is just a very expensive way to be able to dig through your deck to get to your win con. And so what we're looking, it's all red, so I guess you could play this in pretty much any other deck that requires red. The requirements.
Yeah, like the Lion's Eye Diamond makes it dumb.
Now, so it's because of Lion's Eye Diamond you can play this. It's not like you can use Lotus Petal or anything like this to pull this off, though.
Yeah, it's because of LED making 3 mana.
Yeah. And just to emphasize this, Wheel of Fortune on Card Kingdom is $139, and Lion's Eye Diamond is $219 on Card Kingdom, and Underworld Breach is a $3.50 card. But it is those first 2 cards that literally make this the most expensive combo that we have ever talked about in this podcast so far.
Yeah.
So for all of you people that have money to burn out there, this is like your diamond encrusted shovel.
No, that's actually incorrect. We talked about Time Twister.
Did we talk about a combo for Time Twister?
Blue card, yes. With the blue combos, it was one of the things would set off extra turns, and Time Twister is a $1,400 card.
Oh, Time Twister is super expensive. I don't remember us talking about the combo with it, though. Huh, okay.
Yeah. It's basically blue copying spells infinitely, and you just copy Time Twister.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it. I just don't remember the combos for it. Alright, at any rate, let's move on to the 5th and final combo for this first segment. Roman, do you want to head this one off?
Sure. Let me just pull it on up. Sword of Feast of Famine and Aggravated Assault and any other creature. So I'm not even going to need to pull these up. So basically what's going to happen is Sword of Feast of Famine will actually untap your lands. You're actually also going to need, I believe, 5 mana for this combo as well. 5 open mana. So Sword of Feast and Famine is going to untap your lands. Aggravated Assault is 3 and 2 red. To have another combat step, you're going to have Sword of Feast and Famine on any other creature. While Sword of Feast of Famine doesn't give you protection from all creatures, it does give you protection from black and green, as well as it's giving your creature +2/+2. So if you can put it on like any unblockable creature or whatever, you're all good to go for infinite combat steps. As long as you have 5 open mana, that is. I mean 5 mana on the field.
To start, because Sword untaps them.
Yeah, because Sword's going to untap. That's what I said. As long as you have 5 mana on the field.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun combo.
Also, that player has to discard a card, so they have less interaction with what you're doing each swing.
So what do you think about the competitive level of this?
This is actually very competitive. It's why Sword of Feast and Famine is $60 right now.
It's expensive because Stoneblade, I thought, but that's fine. Like it's played in Legacy is why it's expensive.
It's also played in a lot of Commander decks. Basically, it's just untap your lands on a combat swing. So if you put this on Nigella type stuff, just getting extra combat steps and untapping your lands at the same time is ridiculous.
Well, in general, this is a Sword of Feast and Famine. It's just a really great card.
Yeah, it is. All that too. It gives you protection from, like I said, black, which has a lot of kill spells, so...
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the combat step because we need to get rolling here. We're about 45 minutes into this. So our topic to fight about this week over the combat phase is, as Roman pointed out at the beginning of the podcast, is the new secret layers lands drop. And more specifically here, Roman, now, were you referring to the Godzilla lands or the fetch lands?
These are I believe the Godzilla lands.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
So
I'm talking about the fetch lands. And I'm actually going to be writing an article.
That too.
Well, no, I'm writing an article about it for Cycle and Dredge, so you can probably just read my article about the secret layer, or ultimate secret layer.
Shameless
Well, I'm talking
plug.
about secret layer drop series, I believe, is actually the one I was referring to.
Well, the secret layer drops in general are just called a series. They lovingly or affectionately call them all that. In this case, what you linked to was the Godzilla lands specifically.
So there seems to be a lot of controversy about these because no one wants to pay $30 for 5 lands.
So I could go either way with this. I see both points, and I'm probably the worst person to make an argument for this. And here's the reason why I say that. Because part of the argument is exactly that. $30 for 5 basic lands is stupid expensive. Like, these are just basic lands. They're not doing anything for the game. With that said, though, these are also collector's pieces. Like, they don't enhance the game whatsoever. They're not going to do anything. You're not going to get anything out of this by playing a green Godzilla land versus a basic forest. It's going to get you in the game no matter what. This is strictly for people that love Godzilla or want a fancy land to play with. And quite frankly, it's not too dissimilar from people buying the most recent unset for those lands. Even though you got other cards and stuff with them. But it's basically bling.
I have to agree.
So
I have no problem with this secret layer.
Yeah, I'm on more like, if you want to spend $30 on it because you like the art, go for it. It's your money. It's not going to enhance the game at all. You're doing it because you love it. And
there's a ready supply of reprints available.
Correct. The fetch lands,
professor likes to say,
are a whole different story.
And you can read about that in my article.
Yes, coming soon to cycleanddredge.com. So, Roman, what do you think about this? You've read some of the arguments online.
I'm a big collector of red lands, so I want the red land.
So would you spend $30 on this, just have one land out of 5?
I 100% would.
Okay.
Then you're just wanting to collect the land. You're proving our point.
Yeah,
it's for collectors, clearly. I mean, I once traded what was Smother and Tithe at the time it released, like $15.
Mm-hmm.
I traded a Smother and Tithe
now.
for, now. It was like $15 at the time. I traded it for a foil mountain because I didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I believe, the foil Ravnica, like full art land or whatever.
Wasn't that with me?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't care who it was.
You a Zendikar land?
It was a full art foil land, that's all I know.
Yeah, that was my Zendikar land.
Alright. Well, yeah, I mean, like, see, like, I don't care. I'm like, nah, I need to collect them all.
No, okay.
So we're actually in agreement on the combat step.
I think so.
Well, now I disagree.
Combat,
I think every player should buy all these.
combat achieved.
Yeah, just they're for collectors, and everyone wants to get mad at them. Don't buy them.
People are going to get pissy about... people just like raising pitchforks. That's all there is to it, really.
Yeah, it's something that's not made for them, so they're just going to get mad.
Pitchforks have been raised about the ultimate secret layer, though.
Yeah,
and I think it's warranted, and I'll talk about that later.
That one is definitely warranted, and we'll do a better deep dive discussion on that after you've posted your article to the website. So, all right, let's move on to the second main phase and then start wrapping this up because we're about 15 minutes into this podcast almost now. So,
do we just want to do one then? Maybe Cranko?
Roman, what do you think?
Just to keep it under an hour.
Well, yeah, I guess we can do Cranko. I mean, I guess he is the most important thing on this list.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Cranko combo, and then there are other 4 combos that we just are not going to have time to get to tonight. So with that said, if you're interested in what they are, or you want to see any of these combos, we have the rundown on the Cycle and Dredge website, and we'll go over that in more detail here in a minute. But with that said, Roman, since you are like the Cranko guru of this group, why don't you go ahead and explain what this combo is and what the cards are?
All right. So Krenko taps create X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. And then Breath of Fury states, enchant creature you control, you're not going to enchant Krenko. You're going to enchant a 1/1 goblin or any goblin you plan to get rid of this combat step. So when enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it and attach Breath of Fury to a creature you control. If you do, untap all creatures you control after this phase. There is an additional combat phase. Now, all your goblins are going to have some type of haste enabler. So there are several different goblin lords that can do it. The one that they reference to use is Goblin Hellraiser, where creatures you control have haste and attack each combat if able. I don't normally suggest this one. There are a couple goblin lords for the same amount that will give your creatures haste, make them cost cheap, or give them like Mountain Walk. Those are the ones I would suggest. Mm-hmm. But basically, you're going to use Breath of Fury to untap Krenko and just untap him consistently with each combat step, attacking with several thousands of goblins by passing Breath of Fury on to the next, generation of goblins.
Roman has literally killed me with this combo, and I hate it.
It sounds fun. About on par.
I've killed him with Food Chain, and he probably hates that, so we're even.
Food Chain's fine. Food Chain's fine if you're playing like colors that can deal with enchantments and artifacts. So if I was playing green, I wouldn't really care. It's my fault for not having the spell to deal with it. Like anytime I see Food Chain, I'm like, oh, I don't have Niv's Disc in red, so I'm mad.
Anyway.
Niv's Disc is like my only answer to Food Chain in my Krenko deck.
Mm-hmm.
Besides burning your face down.
Okay.
Did he just say he's going to burn my house down?
No, just your face.
Face, just your face.
Okay. Because there's other people in this house. I like them.
Well, John's going to burn your whole city down, so.
Not with Nick in it. Jesus. Okay. So with that said, we're going to move up to the cleanup step this week. There's a very quick second main phase this week. Do we want to do the shameless plugs first and then the final card picks of the week?
Sure. Shameless plugs.
Sweet.
We'd like to thank our sponsors over at EDH
No. We are not sponsored by EDH Rec. If you enjoy listening to this podcast or want to hear any other ones, go visit cycleanddredge.com where you can listen to all of our past shows. You can also subscribe to the Cycle and Dredge podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you might want to find your favorite or whatever your favorite podcasting platform is. If you don't see us there, shoot us a message and let us know. If you want to reach out to us for any responses to the show, think any combos that we miss, or want us to discuss anything in the future, either shoot us a message on Cycle and Dredge. You can go to the contact form and email us, or you can go onto the Discord channel and shoot us a message there. You can also tweet us at Cycle and Dredge on Twitter as well, too. Or visit our Facebook page and leave us a comment there, too. At any rate, there's plenty of ways to get a hold of us, so reach out to us, let us know what you think. Don't forget to visit the Cycle and Dredge app, where you can manage your library and collection and see what everything is worth and trade your cards or sell them to other folks or build decks and things like that. And we're constantly working on it and have new features coming weekly, so by all means check that out too. Nick, do you have any plugs this week?
Did you forget affiliate link?
Oh yeah, if you want to support our podcast, that's kind of important too. Anytime you look for a card with the Cycle and Dredge app, it's going to have a buy on TCG link there. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you directly to that card where you can buy it through TCG Player, and anytime you use that link, it helps us out. So don't forget about that too. Nick, anything else you want to plug? Or that I forgot?
Yeah. No, I have something I want to plug. I got published recently.
Sweet.
And it is in a online magazine called the George Street Press. So if you just Google George Street Press, you will find the 2020 current issue, and my story is called Active. I will warn you it's dark, but it's very good.
Awesome. So is this like a conversational piece, or is it a fictional, like, short story kind of piece?
It's a fictional controversy starter.
Are there squirrels in this one?
No, there are no squirrels.
No squirrels. Okay. Roman, what about you? Is anything you want to plug this week besides EDH Rec?
Well, if you're in the Lancaster area, I'd like to plug Farbaco's website. He is doing UPS shipping, but I don't know how far that reaches out. So Farbaco has been a long-standing friend of the podcast members here. He does have a store located at farbaco.com. You can pre-order mystery booster boxes right now. So if you're in search of one and just wanting packs to open during this time, go ahead and shoot him a little pre-order. He's also has other things up on there for all your nerdy needs.
Yep, he delivered to me, so.
Yeah,
if you're in the Lancaster area, he most likely will deliver. If you're outside of it, he does have UPS shipping on there as well.
I'm just saying for like the Lancaster-based people.
don't forget to visit farboco.com for all of your nerdery needs.
It's a general nerdery.
Yes.
Yep.
Haha.
But it's not a nerdarchy, because that would be plagiarism.
Oh my. Okay, let's move on to our card picks of the week, and then let's wrap this stuff up, because I'm hungry. I need dinner.
I am also hungered.
Who would like to go first?
Xenagos, God of Revels. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Any other description for Xenagos?
If you don't know who he is, you're just wrong.
Okay, so if you'd like to
For
see...
those who are wrong, he's a god. He's 3 in Gruul, which is red and green, and your devotion has to be less than or greater than 7 for him to be a creature. And at the beginning of the combat on your turn, another creature you control gets XX. So at a turn where X is that creature's power, he likes to beat people up and punch them in the face. Yeah.
Bam! Alright, Rowan, do you want to go next?
Sure. Mine is a little bit more competitive than Xenagos.
Really?
Soul Ring.
Soul Ring's in every single deck.
The staple...
How can it be more competitive?
The staple of Commander.
I'm just gonna talk. I wanted to talk about it when I had more time, but
You'll write an article about it? Sounds great.
Maybe
You should write an article
if I get
about
up
that.
to it. About the competitive level of Soul Ring and why everyone needs to stop complaining about it. Sure.
That
Black
sounds
Lotus is so much worse.
That sounds like an argument to me.
Well, Black Lotus is banned because
Next
it's
week on Dragon Ball
Zero.
Z.
Black Lotus is banned from Commander because it's like Lion's Eye Diamond.
Roman, I am aware of this.
But Lion's Eye Diamond isn't banned.
I wanted to make my Dragon Ball Z joke.
What?
All right, my card pick of the week
John,
is
what's your card?
Inferno Titan. It's a 4/2 red.
Sucks.
It's a creature giant. Red Inferno. You can pay a red. Inferno Titan gets 1/0 until 1/1/0 until end of turn. When this card enters a battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures and/or players. Cool.
You know, I love the Titans. I just like to trash Inferno Titan for some reason.
Yeah,
Because he's not as good as Prime Time.
Well, yeah, but it's not ever going to be banned, so you don't have to worry about that.
That is true. But
It has
Prime Time
fire
is
breathing, and it will
Titan's
actually
better.
burn somebody down.
it has fire
I
breathing.
agree. I just, out of the 5, he's the worst.
All right. So with that said, Roman, I think we have how many colors left to do for the
We did
combos?
green and blue,
We
so
have
we have
3.
black.
and
What?
white, black, white, and
did
color.
green and
Did
blue. Yeah, we did blue last time. We
Oh,
did
so we have
green
white
a
and
little
black
bit
then,
ago,
so
so we got white and black.
And then are we gonna?
And white is going to be last, and then we'll do
Color.
artifacts after white.
Okay.
So does that include Eldrazi artifacts?
Yes. So artifacts will be colorless, I guess you would say.
So that week I will be missing because I hit Eldrazi.
Well, when we deal with Eldrazi, I'll probably put like 2 or 3 Eldrazi in there, if that.
Fine.
A lot
As long
of
as
it's
I
going
don't
to be
see
dealing
giant
with like
spaghetti monsters.
a lot of it's going to be dealing with like Cheerios and
Okay, so
cards we
3
talked
weeks
about.
on Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit of a teaser for a couple weeks from now, and then we're probably going to move on to another series, or maybe we'll just do another couple more episodes on like multiple colors or some of the. I don't know.
Yeah,
Roman,
stuff like
figure it
how
out.
to
We'll do shard combos.
Yeah.
stuff like how to put all his dust on a stick and just have fun with people.
Yeah. We're a couple weeks
Roman.
out for that. We'll figure it out.
Stop.
But until then, we still have a couple more weeks to go. So we're going to be doing either black or white next week, so join us next
You're
week.
doing black.
We're doing
We're doing
black?
White is last because everyone thinks white isn't good enough. So
And you're going to...
I disagree with that. I think white's amazing, but
that's why I'm saving the best for last.
okay. Sneak preview next week. Exquisite blood, sanguine bond. We're done.
Yeah, that might make it in there. Roman is the final picks go to Roman, so we'll see what he says. All right. Any final thoughts or anything for this week, guys?
That is
I
it,
had
buddy.
mine, so I'm good.
All right. With that said, I'm gonna go eat because I'm starving. Until next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.